Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Bug Rock of the Week. Today we're going to be looking at 9 weird, wacky, mysterious, and fun bugs in the 1.18 Cave update. If this intro's anything to go by, it's gonna be a weird episode today. Not to mention this, which is just randomly happening. That's not a good thing. Oof, jeez. I'm literally just trying to record an intro. We found a weird, bad bug. I find this bug surprisingly funny. So beacon beams unrender after about 64 blocks. So there's actually a beacon down at the bottom of the world at around -59, but you cannot see the beacon beam. As you can see, we're getting a speed from it, but we have to go like super far down this hole in order for the beacon beam to actually show up. And that's just a little bit ridiculous. On Java Edition, you can see these beacon beams for absolutely miles, but on Bedrock Edition, they can't even reach from the bottom of the world to the surface, and I just find that awfully funny. I don't know why, but it's just really amusing to me. And this bug's been around for like literally forever, by the way, but maybe nowadays there's actually a reason for Mojang to change it. There's a pretty serious lighting bug on Bedrock Edition that is allowing mobs to spawn where they shouldn't. So as you probably know, in 1.18, mobs only spawn in light level 0 or absolute darkness. So we turned off the smooth lighting feature in our video settings, and that allows us to see the effect of one torch really, really well. So these two blocks right here are currently not spawnable, but if we place a block right here, that is actually going to update the light levels, and instead of this block remaining a light level of 1, it's actually going to go down to a light level of 0, even if we remove that block. So now a mob can spawn right here, even though it shouldn't be able to. Now you might think that this is a rather fringe area, and this probably wouldn't be that widespread. However, this is resulting in mass amounts of hostile mobs spawning where they shouldn't, possible creeper holes, and all kinds of things that you just do not want in your Minecraft worlds. So be aware of this bug and maybe spam down a couple extra torches just to be careful. There's a couple more simple scaffolding bugs on Bedrock Edition that allow you to fall through scaffolding when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. These make building and using scaffolding overall just not that enjoyable. So the first one is when you have a solid block right here and then another block that you can lean up against. So if we walk up against this block and crouch, that is going to allow us to fall straight through the scaffolding for no apparent reason. If we stand just a little bit back from those leaves, then we can't crouch and fall through, but as soon as I touch those leaves, then we fall through. Really, really annoying. There's another bug of scaffolding where if you have a block or item that doesn't have a collision box underneath your scaffolding, then you'll actually be able to fall through. So of course you can walk through banners just fine. However, the game thinks that there's a block right there, so it's allowing you to go down and crouch on those. But of course, you just like fall straight through. So this bug happens with torches and signs and basically anything else in the game that doesn't have a collision box. It allows you to fall just straight through the scaffolding, and this one really does need to be fixed because it's not something that you would expect at all. If you're looking for another cursed item to collect in your Minecraft world, or just another scaffolding bug, look no further than Y level 0 supporting scaffolding. As you can see there, you can just like place it mid-air and it just completely stays there. You can build on it and it's like actually properly supported scaffolding. And even this scaffolding doesn't let you crouch and fall all the way through it. So it's actually a pretty solid bug. Would recommend. 8 out of 10. So there's a pretty massive bug when it comes to entities and loading them in Bedrock Edition. So I have my render distance down super duper far just so that I personally am never going to be loading them in order to demonstrate this bug. These command blocks right here are locating Jimmy and Kyle, which are over there, and those chunks several hundred blocks away. We're going to get my secondary account to log into the game, and that is going to load those two chunks, so we will see these comparators light up, which is perfectly normal. The thing that isn't normal is that we can keep these entities loaded and keep detecting them for an extremely long time. Silent 2 is actually flying away, and he's actually about 1,000 blocks away from the area that he originally loaded in. So if we go ahead and have Silent 2 log out, as you can see, those entities finally unload, but Silent 2 logged out about 1,000 blocks away from where those entities are, which is a little bit ridiculous. So this is actually a pretty major bug, and you need to be careful where you log in your Minecraft servers. So if you log in at a villager trading hall with like 200 villagers, those guys are going to be constantly loaded until you log out of the game, basically. So basically what's happening here is we have one player, which would be me, and then Silent 2 is over here in this part of the world. When Silent 2 logs in, he is going to be loading all of these chunks around us. So Silent 2 is loading this cow, basically, and if Silent 2 goes off and goes like 1,000 blocks away or whatever, he's just going to be standing off over here. However, this cow is still going to be loaded, and the server is still going to be processing and thinking about it, apparently. So until Silent 2 logs off, that cow is going to be like in the memory of the server. And that is actually a pretty massive bug, especially for server performance on a multiplayer server or realm. So you have to be very careful where you log in. It's hard to tell if this one should be a bug or more of a quirky feature of Bedrock Edition. However, you can have some pretty clever hidden lighting using snow layers. So as you probably know, the full regular snow blocks block all light. However, the snow layers can be stacked up to layer 8, and that does not block any light at all. So you can completely hide a light source without carpets or slabs or stairs or anything like that, and it's actually really clever for a lot of different snowy builds. Of course, you can also do this in the ground as well. You can put down a slab and then layer a bunch of snow layers on top of that, or whatever you want. Of course, light emitting blocks melt snow layers, so you need to be careful where you place it. There should be at least a 3-block gap between your light and your snow layers. Also, snow layers only melt from the top down, so if the top of your snow stack is dark enough, you can actually build with pure snow layers right on top of a light emitting block. It's a little bit quirky, but it does actually work. There's currently a bug with the world save icons if you're in a single player and you have RTX enabled. So this is a world that I was just playing in with RTX. I exited the world, and this is the world save icon. Basically, it's the world lighting in between RTX and then vanilla lighting. So it's basically like all of your nice video settings get turned off, whereas you should have a nice like 4K RTX image right here. This is literally like the lowest quality image that you can get inside of Minecraft. There's a new really annoying bug with boats. So if you bring up a boat vertically very far using a lead, whenever you get into that boat, you can basically take a huge amount of fall damage and possibly even die. And anything else riding in that boat can also die as well. It's not 100%, but it does happen often enough that you should be very careful about it. Now, an easy way to get around this bug is to simply break the boat, and then nothing is going to happen. You won't take any fall damage, and it's all good. Probably one of the best bugs that I've seen in a while is the fact that parrots and boats are just like straight up immortal. Even if you hit them with fire aspect, they'll catch on fire, but they just do not mind at all. This is honestly a pretty great bug. So obviously if you break the boat, then they start taking damage from the fire or whatever else you might throw at them. As always, if you find any good bugs in Bedrock Edition, let me know with a comment down below and it might be included in a future episode. But otherwise, thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you're new here, then maybe consider subscribing. Help us reach 500,000 subscribers on the channel. And I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again. And then there was silence.